Hey, good morning. It's actually the weekend here in not so sunny UK. That's spring in the UK for you. Unfortunately, you can see I'm all bundled up practically for winter. So yeah, it's not quite the day off I quite had in mind. Mind you, when you're on you have your own home-based business, you can pretty much cut and paste and pick and choose and when you work, how you work, where you work, and with whom you work. And I had a conversation recently about this because one of the key things about being your own boss and being a self-employed or home-based business is that effectively if you are a team, unless you've built up a massive team that work around you, or you have employees, which in some cases in the offline world many do have, or they subcontract in, so then you're managing people anyway. But one of the beauties of being an online business is that in fact you don't have any of that overhead. However, it presents other challenges, and one of the key challenges that seem to come up, and this is in conversations and challenges that I know that I've faced and many of others that I talk to have faced as well, of being a home-based, self-employed person, a business, is that you're not only business owner, you are the manager, and you are the worker or employee. And the key to that is that you are able to manage yourself or manage the operations effectively, and that requires first and foremost you have that vision which inspires you and motivates you, keeps you driven, and then you have the discipline and the follow through and the continuity, and basically that level of commitment to get through, but also energy. So you obviously have to take care of yourself as well, so that you're not only your mental inspiration and your physical ability, but also your the health and well-being to make that happen. And what it kind of boils down to is one of these key notions of, would you hire yourself? I mean, think about it. I have conversations with people who say, "Oh yeah, I jumped in. I heard all about all these success stories. I did a little bit of work. I didn't necessarily get success stories overnight or in 24 hours or 48 hours. So basically, I gave up because obviously it doesn't work." Now, I don't know about you, but I've worked in set up businesses in the offline world, and it certainly didn't happen in 24 hours. And the level of commitment and the late hours and the push and the drive, we're talking full on. Similarly, having been an employee and worked for somebody else in a company and a business and in corporate world, obviously there's a reason why there are probationary periods, and there's a reason why you have those 30, 60, 90 kind of day milestones within a business, is because there's going to be basically an induction period where you've got to train up, you've got to learn how to do things. Even if you're very, very good at what you do, there's new terrain, there's new personalities, there's new ways of doing things, and you have to figure out a way how to fit in. And these things do take time. I mean, some people obviously are better at it than others, and they integrate better. But there's a bit of a transformation that needs to take place, because you're now in a whole new space and a whole new dynamic that requires your different kind of level of attention. But the commitment needs to be the same. Now, you and I both know that if I were to, or you were to basically be in a situation where you get frustrated and, things aren't quite going the way you want, and if you were at that 9 to 5 or that job that you've just taken on board and you said, you know what, screw this, I can't get it, it's not working, I can't figure it out, and you just quit, or you just said, I'm taking the day off, and you just packed up and rolled off and then came back the next day and said, well, you looked at payday and you looked at your pay slip and you go, well, where's my money? Where's my return on my investment of time for you? That's a whole other separate discussion as to why people get into being their own bosses, is because there's a level of that kind of employability, that the practice in the field, that is not particularly very honorable. And I think a lot of people have recognized that is just a kind of a slavery dynamic that we get caught up in. But again, that's a whole separate conversation. But if you don't basically deliver, then how can you expect them to deliver back? And that kind of that trade of time value kind of exchange. And if you were to say, go, hey, wait a minute, where's it says here that basically I didn't get paid, and they say, yeah, but you didn't get paid because you didn't deliver. You said the exchange isn't there, so you didn't give, so we didn't give. So you gave, we gave, and obviously that agreement is in place for a reason. But it goes on to say. The conversation then carries on to, well, if you quit, then the question is should they quit? So then the chances are that if you stop producing, you get fired. Think about that. If you stop producing, you have everything else stop as well. So production in both ways, the production of producing money into your bank account or producing opportunity into your life and so on. You stop producing, you stop being active, you stop generating, you stop being engaged, then life, the job, the opportunities, so they dry up. And so that's a key point. So equally, if you are in your own business and you quit, frustrated, fed up, it's not working, I can't get it, I don't know who to talk to, I don't want, you don't reach out, you don't quit, you don't make a game plan, you don't follow to it, you don't, sure, these things are organic and they are required for you to have the wherewithal to change. But if you have made the decision and stepped off the elevator or the lift at a particular floor in your life and said, look, I'm stepping into this complete new terrain, I don't really understand, I don't really know it, but I have the drive and ambition to do it, and then you don't follow through, how can anybody expect for there to be a payback? And so in that is the key question again is, if you were your boss, which effectively you are as a self-employed, home-based business, you are the boss, turning around looking at you as the worker or the employee, the one who has to get it all done. Okay? Because as we know, most bosses don't do it, they delegate. So if you've delegated to you and you don't produce, would you carry on continuing with that agreement and that contract and that kind of dynamic that you've got? Would you hire yourself? And that's a key point to consider. So yes, there will be challenges. Yes, there will be upset. Yes, there will be frustrations. There will be times where, yes, you want to throw in the towel. But think about it. If you were in the 9-to-5 job grind, J-O-B, just over broke grind meaning that you're having to commit a hell of a lot of effort, probably for not much return, and then you get taxed and all this business, and you come out, you look at your slip, and you go, what the is that? And if you were to follow through with that kind of activity and say, look, you know what, screw this for a laugh, I quit, or I'm taking the day off, or whatever it is, I'm not doing it today, even though there's a deadline. Would you then be able to come back the next day and honestly either have a job or not be on probation or some kind of disciplinary activity, or basically your probationary period would come up for review and then you would not be renewed? So in the same situation is, if you didn't like having a boss on you, then if you want to be boss, then you have to boss yourself around a bit, and you have to basically say, hey, look, man, if I want this to succeed, I've got to engage, I've got to go after it, I've got to follow through, I've got to commit, I've got to be disciplined, and I've got to give whatever it takes to make it happen. So if you want to win, you have to ask yourself, would you hire you? And if the answer is yes, then by all means, get on with it, reach out. If you're engaged with the community of, say, the empowered community that, for example, I'm with, there is a community of people that one can reach out to. There is always the internet. There is always Google for questions, and that is the internet world. If you're on an offline space and you're just trying to get into the online space, there's always the Chamber of Commerce, there's libraries, and there are other fellow people who are in business who would be more than happy, if they have the time and you can designate some time, who would love to talk about their successes. Most people really enjoy talking about their successes. So interview them. Step out of your comfort zone a little bit and push the boat out and just say, look, if I'm going to push the boat out, or I've been forced into where I have to think out of the box, or do away with the box altogether, because that's much better. Get rid of the boundaries. And then that's basically upskilling, learning, and training, and this, and changing your mindset, and really, looking as the green lights and the yeses, as opposed to the blocks and the stops and this, and getting caught up in that. Looking for solutions and ways around challenges. There is a whole world out there to reach out to. I happen to be one of them, so feel free to get in touch with me. And if this sounds like something that you particularly, resonate with, and that you might be stuck, but you're looking for an opportunity to really kind of be supported and carried through, and an opportunity that actually can, click on the button below, and I'll see you there. Thanks very much, and I'll see you later.